Joy105.com.
Hey, Joy105.com family. This is Crystal Smith, and you won't believe who I'm actually spending time with today. The one and only, the multiple Grammy, Stellar, BT, NAACP, Dove. I can go on and on, but it's Pastor Donnie McClurkin. Pastor McClurkin, thank you for your time today.
How you doing, girl?
Thank you for spending 2 minutes with me. Thank you.
Look, it's my pleasure. I'm telling you, you help so many people. You're so generous with your time and support, Crystal. So it's my pleasure.
Thank you. I'm ultimately excited about this new project, Duets. We had an opportunity to spend some time together at Walmart here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about, that was one of the funniest. I'm telling you, I was standing there with the police officers laughing about this book signing because they said that they do security at churches all the time on Sundays on their off time, and we were laughing about your crowd because we had never seen a crowd in Walmart that felt so connected to the artist. I mean, everybody in the crowd felt as if you were there, and some of them tried to say it, that you were their cousin, their uncle. That's the part about you that just makes us love you, because it's like it goes so far beyond just what some have made just the business of ministry, that you can actually tell you have a heart for God's people. Where was that birth from?
It was birthed from, I guess, my upbringing. My mother was that type of person where everybody she taught us to love so hard, and everybody in the neighborhood would come to our house. We very rarely went to anybody else's house.
Wow.
They would come to our house, and we would play in front of the house, and you learned how to love. And growing up being insecure, growing up, having different situations and physical deformities that made people laugh at you, it always made me sensitive to how people feel and how people how people need to be loved by the way I was treated. I went through bullying in school too, the whole 9 yards, and it made me kind of introverted as I grew up. But then being with people like Marvin Winans and moving from New York to Detroit into a sea of people who loved people, it really brought me back to the basic principles my mother taught me. And started paying attention to people and caring about people, and found out you didn't have to know their names or didn't even have to know their backstory in order to show real concern about them. And that's how that's developed.
Wow. Well, it's awesome because you're one of those names that most artists would hate to hear this word, but when I say legend, your name will live on forever, just not only for your contribution in music, but just for the person that you are. You are a great example for those of us that are coming up on either side, whether it's entertainment or media, whatever it is. We're just an example to stand for what you believe and be firm in it and be true to God's people. So, sorry.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome. This new project, Duets, released on February 3rd. What can I say? I just want to start at the one that has my heart, and that's the one with Tremaine Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that has lived beyond 20 years old, I think, can relate, and lived as long as 99 or beyond can relate, because this song is so transparent. And how was that experience with the one and only Tremaine Hawkins?
Well, I've been a fan of Tremaine since I was 9 years old, and in 1969. I was a fan of Tremaine Hawkins when I heard her on Andre Crouch's CD, and then I heard her on Edwin Hawkins' CD, with Oh Happy Day, CD. What am I talking about? Record. And I heard Andre Crouch's Edwin Hawkins' record on the Oh Happy Day recording, and her voice was always unique. And then when the family came about, the Hawkins family. And hearing her sing songs like Jesus Christ is the Way, Going Yonder with Love Alive in 1975. And she just became she had such a unique signature to her voice that no matter how many people were singing in that choir, you could always hear Tremaine's voice cut through. And I never thought for one moment that we would ever become so close and so good friends. I was with Walter Hawkins as well, and I am to this day with Edwin and Lynette. But when it came to singing this song, I would sleep like 7 songs on the CD. I got out of my sleep. I sleep with my iPhone on my pillow, and the songs would come in my dreams, and I would take my iPhone and jump up and put it on my iPhone, and I heard this song with Tremaine, and the words. I didn't have to wait for the words. Usually, I have to wait for words. I didn't have to wait for words for this song. It just flowed. Looking back at all the things that I've been through, who thought my life would be this way? You know, all of the hurt and all the tears, the humiliating, hurtful years. And it flowed. And when I reached out to Tremaine to do so, she heard the song and said yes.
Wow.
And the rest is history. And I brought it back to the old Hawkins way of recording, you know, with a reprise. Whenever sang a song, there was always a reprise. And we did it live in our church in New York. I brought Dorinda in and Tremaine in live, and we did it that night with our church choir. And that reprise is quintessential Tremaine Hawkins.
Now we heard about the live recording in New York. And we were just hurt. We were hurt because we weren't present for that, because we just heard it was just a mess up there. Now I read that the song that honored Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, that song actually was 15 minutes long.
Oh yes, really about 16 and a half minutes long. And it's a song. Dr. Mattie Moss Clark wrote a song in 1959, the year I was born.
Wow.
Write My Name Above. And she was unique because she was a pioneer. She was a woman that had an international music base through the Church of God in Christ as the international music director. I think she was like one of the first women to really record like that. And that one song, Write My Name Above, my mother used to play that all the time in our house. Cleaning up the house, you always had Write My Name Above or Salvation is Free. And I loved that song when I was 3 years old. The first recollection of that song was I was 3 years old. And so it took 51 years to be able to bring it forward. And Dorinda sounds so much like her mother, it's not funny. She is so exact in her mother's tonation and the delivery. And Dorinda never got a chance to rehearse that song with us.
Wow.
She flew in that day, and we did it that night, and I gave her some brief pointers, and the rest is history. So all the people will hear on that song will be me and Dorinda playing off of each other, especially the tail end of the song. It's me and Dorinda playing off of each other, and whatever I did, she would do something else. And you can't sing with clocks because the clocks don't really fair.
I saw when you were on the Word Network. You guys did a special on the Word Network. On I believe it was Dorinda's first show.
Right.
New show on the Word Network. I said, now this is going to be a mess because you guys tried to do it impromptu, and I knew. I said they're going to have to just end the show with them two singing, and it was phenomenal. I can only imagine live. That girl is
she's crazy. I learned that 5 years ago when I sang with Karen, and when we did Wait on the Lord live in Detroit. And the way Karen sang, you know, she goes for broke. And Dorinda the same thing. So that makes this song, Write My Name Above, really a classic. It honors Dr. Mattie Moss Clark with her daughter paying homage to her, as well as me introducing it to a whole new generation of church people.
Now riding from that over into, you're actually going to be sitting with a Clark, better known as Kiara Sheard, legendary, the daughter of the legendary Clark sisters. You'll be sitting with her this year on Sunday's Best.
Yep.
7th season of Sunday's Best. I know you may not be able to give me just the exclusive of how in the world that was a phenomenal pick. How was that decision made?
Well, the producers have always had confidence in my opinion concerning the generations. And Marilyn Gill is a wonderful producer. Connie Orlando is another one. Larissa, Charlie, all of them are great producers. I mean, when I tell you they have great minds, that's what's made the show so powerful. And and when it came time to do the season, Cece Winans, who was the judge, she couldn't do it any longer because she started a church. Her and her husband started a church in Nashville.
Right.
So the question was who to bring in, and I had talked about bringing in somebody younger, but Marilyn Gill and the producers, they sat and collaborated and came up with Kiera Sheard. And when I tell you, when you see this season, it is going to be landmark. Because Kiera is not just a nice little meek, timid girl and the polite little mannerable girl. She's a very intelligent woman, and she is key in changing her generation. And so that's what she does on the show. She represents her generation. And all those from her generation that come up to sing, she gives them the greatest critique. She gives them the greatest admonition. And she is so quick. She catches everything. And she adds life. So I'm the old guy on the panel, and she's the young girl. So quite often we collide. And when I admonish her, she comes back with, well, Uncle Johnny, you see, I was trying to say, and I'm saying, you coming for me, girl? You coming for me? and it is the greatest experience. This year's season of Sunday Best is going to be the most powerful.
Wow.
Because of Kiera Sheard.
Well, we're really looking forward. This generation, this audience, the buzz that we've seen about Sunday's Best. I must say we've been in existence for 2 years, and I have to say this season of Sunday's Best seems the most anticipated than any before now. It's just exciting. Kiera represents this new generation. You know, she may come out with whatever color hair she wants. You know, she's very transparent, very honest, and open to her audience, and we're super excited. So you guys know, just count us in. We're Twitter parties every Sunday night. We actually love it. So I just want to again thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm excited. I hope that they're going to air live your experience at the Holy Land. Will we be able to follow that?
I believe so. I believe that it's going to be aired that night.
Okay. Oh, that would be perfect. Just put in a special request for us if they say it isn't, because I already know that's going to be phenomenal. So we look forward to it. We look forward to seeing you at Essence again this year.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be hosting the gospel segment.
We look forward to it, and as always, it's an honor and a privilege to spend time and talk with you. Remember us here at Joel 105, and keep us informed of whatever's going on with you, for sure.
Well, I just really want to thank you for being a support. You support things that aren't even a part of your format. You get behind people, and you show your love, and you show your real, genuine heart. And, Crystal, that speaks volumes. Continue to do that, girl, because that makes us as ministers really understand that our ministry is not an isolated ministry. You prove to people that you can be supportive even if your name's not on it.
Joy105.com